Good morning all, I am Drumita Mohitri and yes, I am back with our episode 3 from Fun to Explore series from Thermal Physics. And yes, today's episode is pretty different from the other normal episodes of Fun to Explore series because usually in Fun to Explore, what we do is we explore something new from the very basic knowledge we have. But today, unfortunately, we will basically learn something new rather than exploring something new, which is pretty boring. But I was supposed to add this in session 4, but since session 4 was really big, it was 56 minutes, so I didn't add it at that time. So now I'm adding it now. So before starting something new, let's just review our basic knowledge about session 4, which is melting and boiling. So in this chapter, we basically learned about melting and boiling, which is change of state. We learned that there is no temperature change during state change, and we also learned a different equation to calculate heat during state change, which is Q equals to ml. And yep, we already know everything in detail. Everything in detail is spoken in session 4. Link of session 4 is given in description box below, so you can generally check it out. So what will we even learn new in this chapter or in this video? Anyone? Any guesses? Any idea? Well, there is a topic when it comes to change of state and melting and boiling. One topic comes that is called melting point and boiling point. That is what we all know. I mean, melting point is the temperature when solid turns to liquid, or boiling point, liquid turns to gas. But it is a fixed temperature. Suppose the melting point of ice, it is 0 degrees Celsius. So it always melts at 0 degrees Celsius. Or boiling point 100 degrees Celsius. So it always boils at 100 degrees Celsius. So it is just a constant temperature we know every substances have. Now, what is something new about it even? Well, something new is there is a factor that can cause change in this two fixed temperature. And that factor is very known to us, in fact. That factor is called pressure. Yes. So a change in pressure can actually cause a change in the melting point or the boiling point of a substance, which is something super cool. So how can it change basically? So suppose if pressure increases, then boiling point of the liquid will also increase. And if pressure decreases, boiling point of the liquid will also decrease. And coming to melting point, if pressure increases, melting point increases. If pressure decreases, melting point decreases. Now that is what it genuinely happens for every liquid, like general liquid normally. But now we will talk about a very common liquid with some uncommon properties. Of course, water. Water is like the most common liquid, but we all know that it has some uncommon properties, and that uncommon properties it is discussed even in session 4 about the density, having highest density at 4 degrees Celsius. So everything is discussed in session 4. You can check it out if you have forgotten. So due to some of these uncommon properties, a change in pressure actually brings a different change in the melting point of water, or basically ice. So change in pressure on the boiling point of water is same. If pressure increases, boiling point of water will increase. If pressure decreases, boiling point of water will decrease. But the change is for melting point. Melting point, what happens? That is for water. If pressure increases, melting point will not increase. If pressure increases, melting point will decrease. Whereas if pressure decreases, melting point will increase. This is something different and unique only for water because it has some uncommon properties. So that is it basically new we had to learn mostly in this video. And one last thing that I would mention is it is not something new or something fun exploring, but it is something I would like to mention. That is sometimes in MCQs we get some question that temperature increases, what happens to volume, density, kinetic energy, and all these things, blah blah blah. So I have explained in detail, in fact in session 1 to all this, in the very first sessions I have explained why will a change in temperature cause changes in volume or density or kinetic energy, and all these things is explained. But when MCQs come in, you have really less time. So in that time, you cannot just think, okay, this is the theory and this is the thing and all these things. Oh, that is the story and all these things. No, it has to work like a common sense, that is the thing. So of course we need to understand, and since we now understand everything in detail, let's just go straight to the point, that is, when temperature increases, kinetic energy will increase of the molecules. Increase in temperature will increase the volume, and increase in volume will decrease the density. I have explained why each of this works in detail always, but this is just for a common sense, that in MCQs for quickly, so that you can solve it. And yes, today's video is really short. That is what we had to discuss in this video. So, yep, was it really boring? I guess it was. Alright, so we are done with today, and one last thing, I have announced a contest. I guess all of you already know, that is Explore Page 1 from my blog Explore with Joyita. So you can generally check it out. I have made a different video about this contest already in my YouTube channel. So yep, tada, bye bye, and I will be back with my episode 4 from Fun to Explore, where we will actually explore something new, not something boring like this one, I promise. Until then, stay home, stay safe, and stay cool. Thank you so much.